Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Wanted to thank all of you for tuning in for episode 1. It was a lot of fun to make actually, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I've been getting a lot of feedback on those things and everything about that episode and sort of how I filmed it, and definitely the length. Don't worry, we're going to be cutting it down for sure, trying to get to around 15 minutes. But yeah, let's start episode 2 of FaShaun. Thank you for joining. What I'm going to try and do a little something more trendy, a little bit different than my first product, and that is this baby right here. You see that? The very controversial Tabi toed, hopefully that's focusing in there, yeah, there it is, Tabi toed derby, specifically with the lugged sole, which is in my opinion the one to have, versus the one that's more sort of a flatter sole and a regular sole. So yeah, come with me. We're gonna be talking about this, styling it, what makes it good, what makes it kind of bad, why people are torn up on if they really like this, if it's more of a trend. People have been wearing these for decades, but it's only recently seen more of a resurgence. And yeah, let's go and start FaShaun episode 2. So this is the Tabi Lugged Derby, made out of calfskin in this patent leather version. You can see the split toe also goes down to the bottom of the lug sole. Made in Italy, retails for around $1,500, and these are just my personal favorites. So those are the sort of shots of the Tabis that I wanted to cover because they really show you what this shoe is all about. You can see that besides split toe covering, they're made out of patent leather. They have a really, really thick sort of lugged sole bottom, which we'll talk more about later. And then there's just leather laces at the top. Very classic silhouette in an alternative sort of silhouette. As you know, Tabis were from Japan hundreds of years ago. I believe when I was first researching these and Tabis when I was in Japan, they had thought that the sort of separation between the big toe and the 4 small toes actually improved balance. Now, whether you have the scientific evidence to explain that that's true or not, I'll leave that up to you guys, but that's sort of the rationale behind Tabis in the past and why they've even progressed now so into the future, especially with more traditional construction and blue tradesman collar jobs in Japan. They actually still wear Tabis to this day. It's not a necessity per se, but they do it to keep the tradition alive. And besides the split toe, the construction is fairly tough and rigid. These are quite durable. I've worn these for long hours. They're comfortable. The stitching has never come undone. It's a testament to the quality of Margiela for sure. And of course they put a lot of effort into their Tabi line as a whole because it is a hot seller and it is trending recently. But for me, what these do is the lugged one specifically stands out because it alters even the silhouette of this, which is an alteration of an OG derby silhouette with the lug sole, right? The lug sole further takes something formal and changes it to something more rugged. So you're taking that formality, turning that into something more rugged, and what that does is it adds versatility to your fits, versatility to how you wear it, versatility with what you can wear with it, versatility even in the sense of how long can you push this, can you wear this for years. With this sole, probably more so than the regular one, right? Which is like a thin piece of wood, like a thin piece of veneer at the bottom of a shoe that you're like stomping on. And with these, I just feel that they hit a home run with not only taking a classic silhouette and altering it fully from sole to the Tabi, but you've also elongated the silhouette. If you can see that, it's not thin, it's thick here, so you've elongated that and actually shrunken the I guess you can call it the absurdity of the Tabi, the sort of out there notion of it. It's kind of in your face, but the Lugged sole brings it back down, because this cone shape here, this cone shape actually softens this Tabi, makes it look a lot smaller, versus again, if you don't have the Lugged one, this is first and foremost like in your face. And that's where the controversial stuff sort of happens. But again, with the Lugged sole stuff, I really feel they've hit a home run with altering the silhouette in a great way that still maintains its uniqueness and the fact that it is quite trendy and fashionable. So you kept that, but at the same time increased durability, increased wearability, and also lessened the sort of blah, like in your face notion with this Tabi split toe. Now that you know what these kind of look like and why, like the differences between the Lugged sole and the regular sole, now it's time sort of to get into why I bought these. I bought these because frankly they bridge the gap between formal and casual. They have a lot of legs for your money, which is something I preach all the time. If you're going to spend the money on something that you can use in a multitude of different occasions. Try not to get the niche thing, even though it might be trendy or you want to be seen as unique. Because at the end of the day, a lot of things cost a lot of money, and these things are a want, not a need. And with that being said, you have to sort of, when you look at this, you know that you can use it for formal occasions, you can use this for casual occasions, you can use this for more minimalistic outfits, more out there outfits. It's sort of a jack of all trades but master of none kind of vibe. And frankly, when I bought this, I buy everything used. I think I paid 500 Canadian all in for this, off grailed, in my size, no box. And that's what I would do. I think price-wise, these are $1,500 Canadian, US, I think $1,100, $1,200. Too expensive. Don't buy it retail. Buy it on sale, if anything, on Black Friday that just passed. I think I had seen one for around $900 Canadian. So if you're buying new, go with that. Wait for a sale. But yeah, I bought these simply because they were in my budget used. They fit a multitude of different occasions. They are kind of a staple in many people that like fashion, that like styles, wardrobe. And I wanted my first Tabi to be something where I could use a lot. And I've used these a lot, and I always get compliments on them. And I would actually stress to go with the Lugged version versus the regular version if you are going for the derby, again, because you get that extra durability, wearability, and because it sort of lessens the blow of that Tabi, but still gives you the same sort of vibes, if that makes sense. So, comparables. When it comes to comparables, the one that I wanted to get out of the way first and foremost was the derby Tabi without the Lugged sole, so the regular version. I find that, again, they just don't have the same sense of presence, and they don't really work. They don't really use your money to the same advantage as this does. So if I were you, I would definitely get the Lugged version, if I haven't said that enough already. But the off Margiela's site, you're looking at around $14.30 Canadian. Again, way too expensive. See if you can get it off grailed in your preferred color and your preferred type of leather. With that, it's still the Tabi, so you're still going to have that, a little bit of that flavor and presence, but you're not going to have the best version of it, in my opinion. And if you want to go retail and spend the extra $70 to get pay $1,500 and get the Lugged version, I would go with that. The next one that I wanted to talk about is the Solovair Gibson Derby. I believe the price is around $260, $250 Canadian, obviously with duties, shipping, things like that. If you're in the UK or the US, you don't have to deal with that. It'll be cheaper for you, but it comes up to around $300. In my opinion, that's the go-to derby. If you need a derby in your life, the Solovair Gibson is great. I know COS and Arquette, which are basically owned by H&M, so another Swedish variation of the derby. That's also something that you could look into as pretty much just a menswear staple. In black, you can't go wrong. Again, formal, casual, anything in between, you're pretty much covered when it comes to picking up a derby. And at the price point of around $200 to $300, while still expensive, I would still see if you could save money and go for one of those, because they're just it's just something that you need to have as a guy, in my opinion. And it's an item that will, if you buy the right one, like a Solo Vera, which is something that where it can be resold by a cobbler, it could last you decades. So that $200 to $300 over 10 years, you know, how much money is that, right? You do the math, I suck at math, but that's number two for the market comparable. The last one I wanted to cover is a derby that's under $100, but still amazing, and that would be anything. The H&M derby is really good, and the Uniqlo derby is really good. You're paying around $60 to $80. You can also take that money and go thrifting, and maybe you'll have a score there and you'll find something amazing there. But if you don't want to invest as much money into a derby, or any black leather shoe for that matter, I mean, Uniqlo and H&M have your back. Zara is a bit kind of out there because they tend to go a bit more trendy versus something a bit more classical that usually is timeless. So if I were you, I would actually tier it as H&M derby under $100, then Uniqlo, then Zara. And it might kill you in terms of like slicing up your foot whenever you wear it, but you'll still have something that looks good and you didn't put a lot of money into it, and if it explodes on your foot, you can replace it easily, right? So definitely something to take into account. But again, remember, it's not real leather, it's probably fake leather, so bad for sustainability, bad for the environment, and it doesn't have a lot of legs when it comes to how long is it going to last. So just keep that in mind. But if you want something to wear every now and then and you know it's going to last you for a long time because you're not going to be wearing it so much, definitely H&M and Uniqlo is your best bet. Here I'm wearing a Wrangler 70s denim jacket, a Luke Wheeler white tee, Alexander McQueen wide leg pants, jeans I guess, the tabbies at the bottom, an Our Legacy belt, and the MoMA New York Yankees hat. Welcome to double denim. Canadian tuxedo, baby. You know, but no. Definitely what you want to do with tabbies, it's trendy, but it's good, is, again, further lower that tabby silhouette, where it's kind of, again, in your face, especially when it's a classical men's silhouette like a derby, and then now you're changing it. Get something wide fitted, cover most of the shoe, but keep the tabby exposed. With the lug, again, the lug creates that cone silhouette over, meaning that it's drastically reduced in size from the proportion. Then again, you further reduce the tabby proportion by having wide fit jeans, wide fit pants over it. That wide fit comes up, as you can see here, creates a sort of cone, and that's a really pleasing shape to the eye. Get a little bit of a crop jacket going on. And you're going to definitely have a 1, 2, 3 in terms of the third silhouette, the rule of thirds. Turning around, you can see just cinched at the back there, show a little bit of that booty. And then you have blue and blue, so that's completing the circle. You have something two items in blue that complement each other. Easy with denim. Then with the black leather, I have a black belt, Our Legacy cowboy belt, right? And then the black hat on top. Just very classic, very easy to do, and very stylish. And any guy can do this, put this on in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? Once they have the pieces. And yeah, so this is the casual. Let's go to the formal. So here we have a Tom Brown poplin button-up that I scored for Facebook Marketplace for steel. the same Our Legacy belt, black on black leather with the tabbies in the belt, and then a double pleated pant from one of the first drops from Uniqlo C, actually from Clearway Keller with Uniqlo. So pretty sweet. We can see here, this is the formal outfit. Again, more of a flare, more of a wide fitted proportion on the pants, really narrowing that silhouette of the derby. As soon as you go skinnier, if you do choose to go skinnier, you're really blowing up that proportion, that silhouette of the derby. And it's a chunky shoe with the tabby. It's gonna look kind of like clown shoes on you. So I do recommend a wide fitted pant to just soften that silhouette, actually make it smaller when people look at it. We have a double pleat pant here. It works really well, high-waisted, makes the legs look a little bit longer. White poplin shirt, as you know, looks good on the back here, going down. And with that high-waisted action of the pant, it makes my torso also look slimmer, my legs longer, and then softens that silhouette with the tabby, making it an overall great formal use. People will look at that and think you're super stylish. And now we're gonna go and do something a bit more experimental. It's fairly experimental, so you know, take it with a grain of salt. Okay, let's go. Here we have a Yohji Yamamoto paperboy hat that is scored off braille. We have an N Hollywood button up with a monk collar, amazing rayon fabric from Vintage in Japan, CDG Hom shorts, and the tabbies with the Margiela tote. Definitely one of the more experimental fits of mine. Whenever I wear this, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, right? Like we're going for it, and that's what it exudes. It's you know, the triangular leather tote, the sort of monk collar, button up, the massive. These are technically shorts, so they're huge. They go up to my ankles and they're massive and they drop crotch and they're fairly windy. So in the summer, actually, pretty nice. But yeah, this is one of those experimental fits where, like I said before, you want a wider fitted pant or whatever you're wearing on your legs to really soften that silhouette. Even though my ankles are showing here, and obviously that is slimmer than the shoe, that thus technically expanding the proportion of the tabby. If you actually wear these massive shorts on your body, it again does the same effect of the pant where it further lessens them. You can see again it's more of a cone shape here, even kind of looks a little bit skirtish, right? And that in turn, that wideness on the pant and the short, that actually again reduces that silhouette for the tabby and makes it look more manageable. Pretty fire, huh? Awesome. Now let's take them for a test ride. You know, let's go outside and see how they handle on the road. Okay, it's the next day. I messed up trimming my beard and I gotta shave everything, so that's why the continuation is kind of weird right now. But we're going off in the casual outfit, wearing the tabbies, and you know, they feel good even in the cold. It's freezing. I'm actually wearing a long sleeve instead of the short sleeve that I had in the video, just because it's so brisk. But as a whole, tabbies are great. They might put off some people, but if you can do them right, they work well. Also, you don't need tabby socks. You can literally just, in between your big toe and your long ass toe, just go and just make that crease. And it's just as comfortable. You don't need tabby socks at all. Do not buy them for the sake just because you have tabbies. It's a waste of money. You gotta have to ask yourself, why are tabbies popular? Is it because people want to flex them? Is it because people want to be unique? Do they want to show that they're in fashion? Maybe all of the above, maybe one more so than the other. But I think they're a cool, unique piece of design that should be celebrated. And try to buy them because you like them, not what anybody else thinks about them. So overall, I think Tabis, you know, the Derbies ones specifically, the lugged ones, I think they're fantastic. I think they're a great investment. They also, you know, the money that you put into them, you're definitely going to get them out of them during wears, but you can also sell them and you'll make money too. People are always on the hunt out for them, especially the more rarer ones too. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed. It's windy, it's loud. Welcome to Toronto. Cheers. Testing, my iPad is now live streaming my likeness. I think it's kind of laggy right now, but I don't have a field monitor, so I'm hoping I can actually see myself in frame, unlike my first episode, my last episode. Okay, let's see if this works. Where's the button? Is that stopped? Is that still going? What? Oh, it's still going. So what are the comparables for this? We're gonna go through different price points and different sort of silhouettes. The one I wanted to do up close, and like the first one is blah, 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 blah. That doesn't make sense. Oh yeah. Yeah, this iPad thing is sick, bro. But still, man, I'm ruining my carpets here.